In this video, I'm sharing with you guys part 4 of the exterior detailing process, finishing, protecting, and dressing. What's going on? Glad you're here and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. If you're a pro auto detailer or a car enthusiast who loves everything auto detailing, then definitely consider subscribing. So to give you guys a little context, the sun is basically almost all the way down, okay? I've been working all day on this car in particular, polishing it. Now I just finished polishing it with 3D Car Care's one-step polish. It's their 2-in-1 hybrid, their compounded polish. It's called One. Now, basically all I've got to do now is finish the car. So from part 3, it's important to understand part 3 was the cleaning, the decontamination, all that sort of stuff, getting in the details. I do want to explain, this is not technically part of the process. The polishing is not part of the process, but I do want to explain the polishing and the paint correction did happen in between part 3, which you watched just a second ago, and this part 4. So again, this part 4 is finally just the protecting, the finishing, and the dressing of the car paint. And in this case, I am finishing, waxing, and protecting car paint that looks very, very good because it just got polished. So here's how this is gonna happen. Number 1, here's a quick little nugget of wisdom. If you are going to dress the wheel wells and the tires with any sort of spray or aerosol can dressing, do that before you wax it. As I wax it with Optimum Car Wax, it's their spray wax. Again, this is their patented formula. Lasts somewhere around 5 months according to the directions. I would say this lasts probably about 2.5 months-ish in my experience. It's actually why I'm putting this on, because I do want to put I'm actually planning on putting a spray ceramic coating on this car, but for now, before I get to that, I'm gonna be protecting it with a little bit more longer lasting wax here. Now, again, if you're gonna dress the wheels and the wheel wells with any sort of spray bottle or aerosol can, do that before, because what ends up happening if you don't, particularly if you use an aerosol can dressing on the tires or the wheel well, you will get these tiny little freckles all over the car paint and the windows that are very easy to wipe off with just a dry microfiber towel, but you have to go back over it again if you do it after you wax it. And again, in the detailing world, particularly in this playlist, I'm trying to explain how to not have to do those kind of things in the going back over things. So what I'm going to do first is dress the wheel wells with a little spray that shines them up a little bit. I'm gonna wax the car paint, wax the windows, wax everything. Then I'm going to finish the tires with a Chemical Guys VRP gel dressing. So let's go ahead and dress the wheel wells. Now you guys might be wondering what kind of product I'm using. This is Chemical Guys VRP diluted somewhere around like 4-to-1, 5-to-1. I use this to dress engine bays. Again, it's a water-based dressing, so it's water soluble. It'll dissolve in water. So I fill up a little bit of the bottle with Chemical Guys VRP, and then I fill up the rest with distilled water generally, and I can use this to dress engine bays, I can use it to dress wheel wells, all sorts of stuff, and again, I can just be real liberal with it. What ends up happening is when I use this, you're gonna see as it dries and as it drips, these kind of white streaks. The white streaks, the white drip marks will go away when it dries, so just spray a bunch up there. Don't worry about being too conservative or too liberal. If anything, err on the liberal side. And again, as that white kind of drips down, it's gonna dry shiny black. It's not gonna, that white will not stay there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dress all of the wheel wells with this. Now as that dries, it'll dry as I kind of continue around the car with the spray wax. Now again, because I'm using a gel dressing on the tires, I don't have to worry about doing that before I wax it, because I'm not going to be spraying anything on the tires that's going to get on the paint. But again, you're just thinking through these things logically of how do you do things in a certain order that you don't end up having to go redo things, because that is what really gets detailers and kind of creates a much less profitable business, because you're having to go over things again and again and again, and you're just wasting time, and a lot of times you're wasting product. Now as I'm waxing the car, I just want to give you guys a couple notes that I think would be helpful. I do generally like to start with the windshield. There's no particular reason, and I think no matter what you do when you're using a spray wax, you'll probably have to go over a couple things at the end. And what I mean by go over is I just mean kind of take a dry microfiber towel and just gently kind of wipe up the excess, because you know, I can start with the windshield, but as I spray the spray wax on other parts of the car and other parts of the paint, I am probably gonna get a little bit of overspray onto the windshield. Nothing that's gonna like take up a bunch of my time, but again, I'm probably just gonna have to like lightly go over some areas when I'm finished, which is actually a good strategy just because you should have a time by the end where you kind of like where you look over all of your work and just make sure you didn't miss anything. But generally speaking, I like to do, you know, kind of the same process as washing, go from top to bottom. So I'm gonna go windshield, roof, back window, and then I'll kind of go to the hood, the front, and kind of just go from there. But again, I like to go from top to bottom with spray wax, or really any wax in particular. Alright, so now all the paint has been dressed. So just real fast, wheel wells dressed, paint, windows totally waxed, and now I'm going to dress the tires. It's getting darker and darker out here, so luckily there's at least some pretty good lighting in this garage. So again, this is Chemical Guys VRP. I keep it in this bottle just because it's a thick plastic, it doesn't bust, and sometimes other bottles really in the sun can kind of melt and then kind of get jacked up and you got product everywhere. So I'm just gonna put about that much on my sponge. This is a turtleback sponge. Of course, I'm gonna hook up links to all this stuff in the YouTube description box below. This is the best tire dressing applicator sponge I have ever used in my life. Please do not go buy the traditional, you know, labeled tire dressing applicator sponges. You will be very frustrated at yourself. They don't work, they come unglued. They rip, they tear, they don't last, they suck. This is what you want, I can assure you. So I'm literally just gonna take my finger, I wet this with my hose, by the way, squeezed it out a bunch and then dried it a little bit with my microfiber. And I'll just rub it a little bit around there. And I'm going to just very simply kind of get an even spread on the entire tire here. Didn't mean to say it like that, entire tire. Anyway, and I'm gonna go just like this, try to get an even spread. Again, I'm probably gonna use a little bit more product, but the reason I love this tire applicator sponge is because, number one, it's so durable that it'll last me, I mean, number one, I can cut it in half, right? So it comes with, you can tell I've kind of ripped it. It comes, if you can imagine another piece coming this way, it's like symmetrical. And so I just cut it in half to get more use out of it. And so number one, I get 2 for 1. Number 2, it's extremely durable and it'll last me just a very long time. Number 3, I think it's only like $8 or $9. And number 4, the way it's shaped and the way it's designed is super like friendly to the tire itself. So not only does it kind of just conform to the sidewall, but I can also use this little lip right here and get in between this tiny little wedge between the wheel itself and the tire. So I'm literally not missing anything. I mean, talk about, you know, detailing. This is, you know, this is an area where no one, not your customer, and even probably many detailers would not notice. But again, I'm able to get in that area. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dress all of the tires just like this and bring you guys in for a quick little strategy that just came to my mind that I wanna show you with the tires. Now, I'm about to break my own rule that I just told you guys with the tire dressing, but I didn't think about it beforehand, so normally I would not do it this way, but I'll explain. Basically, I know it's difficult to see because of the lighting, but you've probably noticed if you've ever dressed a tire before, basically what happens in this treaded area, when you dress with like a gel dressing, you're using a sponge, unless you've got like a paintbrush and paint it in the gel in these tiny little cracks and crevices, you're not gonna get the dressing in there. And rather than spending a ton of time and wasting your time and getting kind of frustrated and wasting your energy to try to get this gel in these tiny pieces, here's what I'm gonna do. So like I said before, I love Stoner, More Shine, Tire Shine. Well, I might not have said that, but this is the aerosol can dressing that I'm referring to when I use that phrase aerosol can. But basically, because I don't have a completely even appearance on this tire because of this treaded piece on the upper part of the sidewall, I want to have a more even appearance. Now, you guys don't have to do this. This might be too OCD or too detailed for your business, whatever, but I'll just take this aerosol can and spray just a little bit in these crevices so that, and I don't have to do, again, I'm not spraying the whole sidewall, I'm just getting these little pieces that I couldn't get the gel into. So I'll show you how I do that real fast. And this way, I'm just getting a totally even appearance, and because I'm spraying so little, I'm not actually gonna be getting any dressing on the paint, or there's not gonna be anything floating around that I have to go redo. So check this out. So there you go. I know the camera doesn't really do well in the dark, and now that it's dark outside, it's a little harder to see, but you guys kind of get the basic idea. Now it's an even appearance, and I don't have to worry about anything looking, you know, uneven or like I didn't dress it correctly or anything like that. So finally, the exterior detail process is finished. So just to recap, part one was wheel well, tire, and wheel cleaning. So all of this up in here was totally cleaned. Part two was actually washing the paint, so I'll try to get in the light here. Part two was washing the paint and actually cleaning the surfaces, cleaning the windows. Part three was decontaminating, using a clay bar, using Iron X in some cases, using Citrol in this case to get the details. And then part four was getting the wax applied, the dressing applied, any sort of protective measure applied to the tire sidewall, the wheel well, the wheels actually. I didn't film this, but it's very easy to just spray wax the wheels just like you do the windows to protect them. You can do the same thing to factory clear coated wheels. And then of course waxing the paint. And so now we are totally finished. Now again, the little bit of anomaly in this situation is that I did polish and do some paint correction before I actually filmed this part four. And again, the paint correction is not necessarily included in this four-step process. That's kind of an extra thing that's not necessarily traditional detailing or cleaning. However, in this case, I did end up doing that because it required it in this particular scenario. And you guys can see in the light, there's no swirl marks. But anyway, so that's part four. There you go. That's my entire exterior detailing process from start to finish. And that is how you get a car looking like this. I wish it was still sunny outside so we could see a little bit better, but the light in this garage will have to do. So there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this 4-video series playlist on literally from start to finish exterior detailing, the process, all that sort of stuff. And I do genuinely hope it added value to you. If it did add some value to your detailing business, your detailing life, hit the thumbs up button because I do want to know, because I'm thinking back to when I started detailing in particular. I would have loved to be able to see something like this from start to finish so I didn't have to go through the huge learning curve that I did have to go through. But if you're looking for more information on auto detailing and just answer any questions as far as products, tools, strategies, starting your business, just anything auto detailing of that nature, then check out my website, detailingjunk.com. I'll hook it up in the YouTube card. Tons of info there. If you want to get your hands on any of the products or the tools used in this video, the spray wax, the dressing I used, then definitely check out the YouTube description box below and my website, detailingjunk.com. I have Amazon links to all that stuff. If you use my links to buy any of that, it does give this channel a small commission, but it helps me keep putting out content just like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new here and you're a pro detailer or a car enthusiast who loves everything auto detailing, consider subscribing. And as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, thank you guys for being involved. Keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.